Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Thor News Nostradamus Doom Theater. Today we will be reading from the Nostradamus and His Prophecies book. How are you? Alright, in all seriousness, happy Sunday. It is a wild time. It's going to continue to be a wild time. And what we're about to go into right now, cheers, is going to be pretty doomy. So please take this with a grain of salt. I just want to say God bless everyone. I love you and I thank you. And thank you to everyone in Asteroid Fight Club out there. I wouldn't have made it this far without you, even though things are crazy. And so, definitely smoke them if you got them. What did I do? As part of this series, I shall be vaping. Who knows what's in this vape stick, man? Here we go. You ready? Okay. Holy crap, I'm going to die right now. This is a very important, very serious subject, though I have been feeling very doomy for 48 hours, and I do not want to feel doomy at the new moon. Though the information I'm going to be giving you is kind of doomy. But I gave it to you before. Now what we're going to be reading is the 1565 passage from Nostradamus. And I want to point out here, it has January, February, March. I am live. And so Nostradamus has this thing called quatrains and presages. In the presages, he basically lists month by month by month by month. And so a little while ago, I read through all the presages to see if I could find anything where he talked about plagues or pestilences consistently. And so, through all the presages, I found this year, 1565, where he talks about the plagues and presages consistently. And so, let us start out with on the said year. Now, this is pretty doomy shit, and after I read it, I was really depressed for like 2 days, and it's not my point to spread fear or depression, because I believe God creates us to be strong, even in the most difficult of times. All right. On the said year, 100 times worse than the year past. All right. 2019 sucked kind of bad, so if 2020 was worse by 100 times, that would mean it would be a sucky ass year. Even for the greatest ones of the realm and of the church. And here's what I've talked about. Since my second video on the coronavirus, I have said I believe this is a weaponized virus that got out of the lab. And so this is some wrath of God type shit. I felt called upon to do my YouTube channel back in like 2016 full time because I thought we would reach a point that we needed to avoid. And I've been saying a million times we need to unite and give up our war, oil, and division economy. And nobody's really been interested in that. And so now, due to our economy being based on being at war with each other constantly, that has manifested and spawned an ultimate killing machine in the coronavirus. And so, because it is an uncontrolled event, the poorest of the poor will having to be dealing with it, and the richest of the rich will having to be dealing with it. And that money nor force will keep you safe. And so I recommend, as always, working together and stepping up. But it seems like power players continue to make really bad fucking decisions, man. All right. I gotta wait and do all my editorializing afterwards. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read them all, and then I'll come back and editorialize. You guys cool with that? Here we go. Infinite evils, death, exile, ruin, broken, the great female to death to be, plague wounds and log. The weird thing is, at the end, in the original translation, it says Billy, which is Billie Eilish, but whatever. Here we go. January, snow, rust, rain, and great plagues. For the greatest ones, joy, pestilence, sleeplessness. Seeds, grains plentiful, and more of bands. They will prepare themselves, hostility unallayed. So that was January. We have our first mention of a plague. Now here comes February, the month we are in. Among the great ones, great discord to arise. The tall cleric will plot a great event. New sects to place in hatred and discord. War and change to injure all people. All right, there's no mention of plague, just division. Now we get to March. Secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly. Rains, great winds, and plagues for the proud ones. So on Nostradamus, we're into the month of March, and that's when he says that the plagues will come to the proud ones. And hey, buddy, what nation is prouder than the USA? There ain't no nation prouder than the USA. And like Lee Greenwood said, for all our warts and all, I am proud to be an American. Well, at least I know shit is weird. And so, this is part of the reason why I've been telling everyone, please prepare, because I do not think this will get here until March. And that there are a million variables we could be doing to prepare and to unite, not even in our state, in our town, in our country, amongst the world. But nobody's doing that, dude. They're all using like old mindsets to deal with new problems. All right, so March is basically secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly, rains, great winds, this is March, plagues for proud ones, rivers to overflow, pestiferous actions. And so I have said the main two clear and present dangers we face as earthlings are: one, our own ignorance; two, the coronavirus / weaponized thingy; three, the flooding in the Southeast and in the United Kingdom. All right, April, plague to multiply. The sex to fight each other. SECTS, man. SECTS. And I know it's backwards. And that's the thing, like, you're all gangs, man. There's a bunch of groups and a bunch of gangs. And I have been calling everyone, every gang, every group, every family to unite. I have been doing this pretty much since I've been here. And that the only way through is together as one. And that I know everybody's scared. I know everyone has fear at this moment. But what can I do to gain your trust? What do you have to lose by working together as one Earth family? We should try it once, man. I seriously think we can kill this virus with sonics and a frequency. Sure, that's a bit mystical, but we should at least be trying things to fight this instead of each other. All right, so we're in April. Plagues to multiply. The sex to fight each other. Time moderated. Winter a little return. Of mass and meeting house grievously to debate. And seriously, the fact that like everybody's talking about an election that is 9 months away. You have China on lockdown. You have parts of Iran on lockdown. You have parts of South Korea on lockdown. You have parts of Italy on lockdown. And let me tell you how it pretty much goes every time. Day one, they're like, oh shit, the virus has broken out in our local area. Day two, the government says, everyone stay home, and if you leave, you will be arrested or worse. And so the fact that everybody's talking about an election that is 9 fucking months away shows the dangers of a hive mind, man. And yeah, neither the Republicans nor the Democrats are mentioning the corona fucking virus, which is shutting down economies and governments. And individual actions make up the entirety of all things, and that free will is real, and I need real players to step up and be real players. Where do we want to be 10 years from now, man? We can't do the old system anymore, and you've literally got the like satanic Lucifer human furnace running, where we're just burning humans like it was the Mayan Aztec age all over again. Sure, there might be like 1.01% of people who are like, that is fantastic. But the rest of us are pretty fucking super cool. And so, the best way to deal with this shit is to team up, all ideas on the table, and recognize that we want to survive and thrive as a community, as a world, and as a nation. All right, sorry, I got off. Okay, so yeah, March and April look pretty fucking bad, dude. And I want to remind you again, out of all the yearly presages, this is the only one where plague or pestilence is mentioned more than once. So we get to fucking May. People in debates and quarrels over trivia. Pretty much what describes the media better than that? Like, it's why at times I have a hard time communicating with people, because it's, I don't know, like, we always get tripped over the stupidest shit, man. The tongue is the thing that leads us to the most sin, and sin is weakness. What am I talking about? All right. I got beer all over my Nostradamus. That's true. We're in May. People in debates and quarrels over trivia, and over women and deceased in the Great War. The death of a great female. Now, when I say great female, who comes to your mind? To celebrate the king's evil. More great ladies expelled from the land. All right, so now we're in June. And remember, this is someone else's breakdown of what Nostradamus' actual French, Italian, Latin quatrains wrote. So what we would have to do is break down each one, which we may or may not do eventually. All right, June. In widowhood, as many males as females. So by June, it implies that a lot of people are going to lose their spouses, or by June. And I want to say again, I believe that prophecy is for damage mitigation. All right, that's been like a tenet of Thor News. That yes, we are given warnings, and that we are supposed to decipher, decode, and use those warnings properly. And that with a pure heart and a good mind, we can conquer anything. We're at the first civilization to reach this point, man. It might even be like the billionth civilization. But every civilization is different. And this is the one I'm in. So come on, y'all, let's kick ass. And can I have rock and roll back now, please? Thank you. Please release all the great ones that are musical. And please give them to everyone against this virus and the evil that has come out of the bottomless pit. It would sure help a lot. Hey, thanks. All right, so where were we? June. In widowhood, as many males as females. The life of the great monarchs to be in danger. And this is all very sensitive information stuff because the supply lines are breaking down. And if there is one thing that I've said for like the last 1,000 days to the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor, is that we need to keep supply chains up and running at all times. And that somehow we have worked as a team to keep civilization standing this far. And now we are going to have to level up as a team to keep supply lines and civilization standing. And that's so trying to figure out how you can make the most money or take the most stuff during a time of crisis and chaos will not work this time. And that Nostradamus is basically warning the richest of the rich, the Rothschilds, the Astors, the Mars, the Rossis, the you name it. This is very Game of Thronesy. And that so we have a bunch of warnings that, hey man, we got to work together. This is what we're going to be dealing with. And I know that a lot of groups are secretly trying to figure out making pacts of how we'll deal with it. And we aren't even to the aftermath of a power vacuum that will be created in this entire situation. I mean, literally, the screenplay that I've been working on for a long time is called American Bicycle Club. And it was about one guy, two brothers, who retrain an entire town how to deal with the collapse of civilization. It's really funny though. Hey, so I'm just saying, I mean, Nostradamus is spelling out trouble for the richest ones and the most famous ones and the most legacy old money family ones. All right. We're in June still. In widowhood, as many males as females. The life of great monarchs to be in danger. Plague, steel, famine, great peril pell-mell. Troubles through changes, great little ones to incite. Little great ones. And that would, I don't know, like a decade ago, I was warning that the inheritees of the richest families, old money families in the world, the millennial 13 would probably give us some problems. And hey, guess what? I was fucking accurate here. Okay. No time to pat myself on the shoulder. It's all just like scoring 100 points in a basketball game. If your team loses, it don't mean shit. Right now we're in jail. Hail, rust, rains, and great plagues. To preserve women, they will be the cause of the noise. Death of several plagues. Okay, so July. So here it says we got to do the best we can until July. And if there is a weird ray of hope, it's the fact that Dean Koontz said at some point the virus just dies on its own. And so, as weird as that sounds, that is definitely what I am praying for. And what is that book? Is it War of the Worlds, where the aliens come to invade, but at some point a simple oxygen molecule or something kills all the aliens? And so that even Trump has kind of said, inferred to it dying in April. That's not a good comprehensive defensive strategy, and it's definitely not going to prepare us for the major hits to the economy. And we could lose a lot of people between now and July. So, but we've literally been handed a lot of information on what is happening and how we can take it and use it to create common ground and good things and save people and keep total chaos and anarchy breaking out. The sky will be seen, which is to say that it will light up again. That's July. Famine through hatreds. Death, that doesn't help much, but death of several plagues. But famine through hatreds. That's what people hate each other so much right now that Democrats and Republicans hate each other so much that this breaking pandemic isn't even enough to make them wake up and be like, okay, yeah, I don't even know why I'm really mad at you. Let us work together to solve this thing. And so the pivotal months are March up until July. And that we've got it kind of scripted out for us in weird, mystical Nostradamus fashion. And then by August, he says the grain will not at all be sufficient. And of course, food is going to be one of the issues we're dealing with here. You know, that there are so many things we could do if we work together as one unit Earth family. There's so many things we could do. The sky is the limit and far beyond. The death approaches to snow more than white. Yeah, Game of Thrones reference. Sterility. And some of the reports have noted that if you don't die from the coronavirus, it somehow wipes out all your spermatozoa. Or you can't have kids or whatever. And the reports say it kills like 5 males to every 3 women. Which I'm not doubting, because and no offense, but I am wondering if Selena and Taylor's albums were so bad it manifested this fucker. Because like it definitely has an anti-man bent to it. And so that's what we manifested in the last fucking decade. You got rid of rock and roll so you could hate men and then have like $100,000 Gucci shoes and purses? What the fuck is that? So I'm sorry, ladies, but back in the Aztec days when they used to throw 300 people in the volcano, you had a row of women screaming, more, more, more. Both the male and the female can be evil. Roar. Okay. The Great One wounded, several of death on the flank. September. Now we have a scarcity of fruits, nor grain, trees, and shrubs. Great volatile procer stimulare. And today, even though the Republicans aren't talking about this shit, or the Democrats aren't talking about this shit, you got the Federal Reserve going, we're willing to pump as much money into the banks to save the system as possible. And so a lot of finance Twitter is like, dude, this is not how you fight a virus. But Japan said the same things. And so all you people out there who have been okay with the Federal Reserve giving trillions to banks, but you lose your shit over food stamps. That's what they trained you to do, man. That as your planetary defense commander, I definitely, during this time of trouble, believe that every family should have enough food to get through their day. In China, they basically boarded up and soldered all the doors closed, and you are not allowed to leave your house. And they are not doing what they can to make sure everyone has food. And so that in this day, where parts of our government have been getting rid of pandemic research and dialing back the food stamps at a time where we're basically giving banks $50 billion a day through repo loans of the Federal Reserve, I stand with the people, man. All races, all sexes, all genders, all nations. That the people are who I protect. The corporations are just a piece of paper that says LLC, I'm not responsible for all the shit I'm doing. And so 2 days ago, Trump had said during the slowdown in grains or whatever, he would do what he could to support farmers. And so what I'm asking Trump and the Democrats and the Republicans is please do everything you can to support the people. That we could be doing what we can in a reasonable way to make sure that we are pumping out the maximum amount of food production that we can over the next month. And that making sure that people are getting a basic supply of things to get through the next 3 months. And that I do not take fearing causing a panic as an excuse to not discuss the situation or the variable options we have in future timelines on what we can do to handle this together. That I've always said, if you took all the great people and all the great groups and you got them working together, against one's existential crisis. If we hit on all cylinders, the future would be greater than you could ever imagine. And so, I suggest you use your faith and your life and your past to remember how great you are and how great you can be, and how great we are and how great we can be. And that I have been amazing the majority of my life. And so I know there are other amazing people out there, that our media has done everything they can to cover it up and keep them quiet and not show the people examples of the greatness we are and the greatness that we can be. So don't lose faith, as dark as it gets. All right. Scarcity of fruits in September. So we went from scarcity of grain to scarcity of fruits. As temporal as the little lion-like prelate, the Andalot to conquer, tall ones to draw back. All right, now we're in October. Everything has changed. 1 to persecute 4. Malady outside, mortality very far. Of the 4, 2 will come to debate no more. Exile, ruin, death, famine, perplexity. The number of the great ones will not be as many. And so, and I don't know, this is the shit I've been talking about for 20 years, man, that in the grand transition, that if things don't go well, like even this period where, let's say you are someone who has millions of dollars and you can run out to your chalet to wait it out for 3 months. You know, it's like, who are you going to take with you? How do you make sure that everybody stays sane and civil the whole time? And I know nobody's really liked the fact of me discussing it, but in the grand transition, the most attractive women in the world will be one of the most disruptive things as far as the great ones. You know, like the most powerful men and women on the planet, the richest men and women, consider a lot of the most attractive women on the planet their property and treat them as such. And so, in this weird 3 months of everybody kind of breaking off to go their own ways, and even in a power vacuum, there will be wars fought over the hottest women in the planet, man. Trust me, buddy. Trust me. Like, it can get weird if we don't keep it together. Oh, crap. Took my glasses off. If this is a Bible lesson, I apologize. No, this is Nostradamus, dude. Did you read the title of the video? All right. But like I said, as a Christian, dude, Jesus Christ has taught me to be a man of faith and that a ray of hope when I can be, and that whatever it is, we will survive it, and that God gives me strength. Jesus gives me strength. And so that I will maintain faith. And no matter what, I've had the greatest life I could have ever imagined for 48 years. I've been like the luckiest man on earth always. And so I have done my best to maintain a sacred heart. And if I die today and I continue to get to be me in whatever the future is, I'm totally okay with that. And then I will show me your works, man. I literally have spent the last 5 years focused on trying to get all of God's children together, because the peacemakers are the sons of God. And so I've been calling for peace pretty much the majority of my whole life. Like, hey, why are we fighting? Why cannot we find peace together? Because peacemakers are the sons of God. And so, of all the things that you can be in life, what's better than a peacemaker, man? Like I said, if I die today, woo, I sure had a good time. And you know what has come along with my quest for peace the majority of the time? The finest musicians and comedians you have ever known. And so through my life, I've gotten to hang out with some of the greatest guitar players, some of the greatest drummers, some of the greatest singers, some of the funniest people you have ever known. Because they too are on a quest for peace. And they don't spend a lot of time in negativity. They're negative on the inside, shadow in the dark, but they know how to transmute it into comedy or to transmute it into music. And so that other people do not feel that shitty thing. And so many will try to out Christian me over the next few months as they have for the last few years. And I will say what I always say: show me your works. Show me what Jesus and God have inspired your heart to do in your life. And I pray you are a peacemaker at heart. All right, where are we at? Although I got to ask forgiveness from Jesus, God, Katya, and Katya's husband. Katya got married like a year ago, and I'd had a crush on her for years. But last night, while I was sleeping, I had a dream, and in that dream, I made out with a married woman. So I woke up today, and I'm like, dude, this is the weirdest guilt-shame spiral ever. True story. All right. I've gotten off course here. We're in October. Everything changed. 1 to persecute 4. Malady, outside. Mortality, very far. Of the 4, 2 will come to debate no more. Exile, ruin, death, famine, perplexity. November, the number of great ones greater will not be as many. Great changes, commotion, steel, plague. The small estimate, Lent, paid, counting. Contrary month, frost molests greatly. So this implies we're going to have a cold December. November. December, severe frost, ice more than concord. Widows, matrons, fire, lament, games, frolics, joy. Woo! Mars to stir up discord through marriage's good exception. Okay, so primarily the thing that we need to take out of here is that definitely the virus is coming to the United States of America. Thank you very much, Janet Lewis. Definitely the virus is coming to the United States of America in March. That it will get worse in April. It's going to get worse in May, possibly June, but we have a chance at a miracle in July. I mean, just think about it. The idea of all people on earth and in America. If on one Sunday, the president and everyone, it was like a day of prayer, even if we had a 10 minutes of prayer every single day where everybody got together and prayed for the best outcome and prayed for this disease to just motherfucking die. That is one option you can do. Like I said, I think this thing exists on a frequency and sonic level. That there are many ways we could be fighting this thing. Though they may sound crazy, desperate times call for desperate measures. And so that we should be doing what we can to prepare for us having to shut down life as we know it for a month to 3 months, where everybody's just got to stay home with whatever family you choose during that period. And we need to keep everybody fed and in water. And y'all fucking bag on socialism and communism all the time, but in situations like this, it is much easier for socialism and communism to keep hospitals and power grids on. Now, I'm not saying socialism is great or communism is great. What I'm saying is that our capitalistic approach won't be the best solution for a pandemic. That, like, we need to make sure that we keep power grids on. We need to make sure that we keep communication lines up. We need to make sure that we keep hospitals open. And so, you know, that now is the time to be putting plans in place. Because, man, I don't even want to get into that shit. But so from this, like I'm saying, Nostradamus basically pegs out what sounds like this year. And so it's coming to us in March. And that definitely, out of the 4 News and Asteroid Fight Club, if you've got the money, there is no reason to not stock up on toilet paper, water, canned goods, all the things that if you had to stay home for a month, Not asking you to buy anything you won't use eventually or you won't eat eventually. But I'm saying that I'm pretty sure this thing is going to be here in March. And as have governments have basically given people 48 hours warning before locking them down, the time to prepare is now. The time to pray is now. The time to work together is now. Stop acting like it's 2016, y'all. All right. So the plague gets worse in April. Now, as your planetary defense commander, I do what I can to play defense at all times, on all levels, in every way. And so there are many hidden knowledges that the public is never given access to, and you're never supposed to have access to it. And so they demonize it as much as they can, whether it be astrology or the sun or the planets. And so I'm telling you that I have found a lot of truth in astrology, not totally or man's interpretation of it, and that Jupiter will be lining up with Pluto 3 times this year, which I think only happens like every 12 years. But they both amplify the energies that are around in the situations we have going on at the time. And so that I think because the first Pluto-Jupiter conjunction will be in April. We're in Mercury retrograde now, and then we're going to have Venus go retrograde, and then we're going to have Jupiter line up with Pluto. And Jupiter's kind of like the best of what man can be, and Pluto is a lot like hell and Hades and the underworld. And so at times, like if Jupiter gets overpowered, then it will exemplify all the traits of Pluto. And so we definitely have a period for the worst energies to be in April. And so on the big lead up from the December eclipse to April, you know, like, who gives a fuck about the election right now, man? Like, I don't know. Like, I can't, like, all the election shit can wait. And I definitely wouldn't recommend going to giant coliseums, hanging out with like 1,000 people at once, if there was ever a time not to do that. All right, I've had a beer on Sunday. Hopi prophecy. But free will exists. And so it's this weird balance of free will and destiny. And that the choices we make matter. The feelings we feel matter. The energy we radiate from our hearts matters. We have an electrical field and a magnetic field emanating from each one of us. You know? And some are more powerful than others. It's like there's this parable in the Bible that Jesus talks about, which has stuck with me, and everybody interprets it their own way. But he basically says that God gives everyone talents. Some people get 1 talent, some people get 3 talents. People are always like, it means money. Whatever, dude. Okay, it means talent. Whether you can write, draw, sing, like craft, cook. Everybody has unique skills that are unique to them. And that the majority of my friends are like me, to where we like to acquire skills and then get better at them. And so this is a time where we need to put all our skills together. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, okay. So yeah, dude, shit is crazy. And we have tons of warnings. We have it kind of laid out in a Nostradamus kind of script. I would guess this is a weaponized virus, but as my Viking Marine warrior brother pointed out, that, dude, we had the Spanish flu 100 years ago. The Black Plague hit during Nostradamus' time. It killed his wife, his entire family, and then he lived through it and wrote all this shit. Okay? And so, I ain't worried about the coronavirus killing me, because if it does, the last 3 years haven't exactly been a blast, man. You know, to have like some of the richest, most famous people be incredibly jealous of me and doing everything they can to make my life miserable while I'm trying to unite everyone on the planet? It's been sort of rough, bro. I've been stuck in this fucking foxhole for like 3 years. So if I die tomorrow, well, I'm closer to better days, you know what I'm saying? If things do not improve. But I don't think it's going to get me. I think I'm going to be here, and so I got to worry about what happens afterward. So either way, I'm cool with it. Whatever happens to me. You know, with the grace of God go I. But I think it could take out a lot of people, and I could be wrong. It could get me. What am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that definitely, dude, I have done this for years, and when I used to leave the house, so many people would come to talk to me. We were talking some of the most powerful names in every fucking industry. They would come to talk to me, and they had questions, and none of them, and we're talking about billionaires, like none of them were like some great supreme overlords. We're all human beings in this together. And so, you know, I've been saying it. We need to unite. We need to unite. And it's strange how we are being prevented from progress by people who are filled with jealousy and envy at all times. Like, no matter how much money they get or fame they get or things they get, they're never satisfied. So, you know, I don't know how to deal with that, man. You can't kill them because that only fucking gives Skull Tower and the goddamn furnace more power. What am I talking about here? I know I don't want to say anything stupid. I definitely don't want to make anything worse, but we're all alive, and I'm very proud of you for that. B, we still have all the opportunities ahead of us, but we have to act now, and we have to overcome every single insecurity we have together. I definitely haven't been perfect, but I'm not giving up hope, though it may take me a day or two where I just lay here kind of like this, staring at the ceiling as like a zillion different energies compound my body from every cosmic ray direction. Wait, I voted for Trump, but I just like I don't, dude. Trump is one man. All these people are one single man, you know, and that the only voices you should be listening to are the voices who are trying to unite you or trying to tell you to prepare for the next 3 months. Because teamwork makes the dream work, man. And it's going to be interesting now that it's going to be interesting. Our redemption draws nigh. Yeah. It's been a weird roller coaster of up and down, up and down. And though I may go to hell because I kissed a married woman in my dreams, it gave me a little bounce in my step. Oh, geez, Louise, man, 2020 is so weird. All right, so y'all stay cool. I'll probably come back with guitar if you want to hang out. Yeah, politics is. I've been telling you, like, there are trillionaires on the planet. The trillionaires don't fucking worry about the politicians, man. I have been putting my life on the line the last few years so I could be the bridge between the power and the people. And the power sure ain't listening to me, and the people sure aren't listening to me. You know, I've been me doing what I do. And so I think more people should spend time listening to what I have to tell you as opposed to giving me your own personal theories. Especially if they're fucking negative. Because if they are just negative with no ray of hope, I sure as fuck do not want to hear them. That may be your future, but I don't plan on it being mine. Let me say again, the peacemakers are the sons of God. And so I hope to bring peace and prosperity to all human beings on earth in a very non-political motherfucking way. And as the wonderful, beautiful, wise Amber Khan of the Quietest Revolution has said, the abundance is a test. We have more resources on Earth and in our outer space than we know what to do with. And so we have been in a battle for 20 years on how the richest 50 people on the planet want to deal with the future. And that's the fucking truth, man. That we're trying to work out a deal for the next 1,000 years. And it has been rough going. We got real close in 2017, but shit, something. You know, in 2017, you had Trump talking about world peace, Putin talking about world peace, the guy from Korea talking about world peace. You had MSB from Saudi Arabia talking about building my super cities. And then somehow, I don't know, like Taylor and her squad of the Luciferians just came and fucked everything up completely. Great job, y'all. We are definitely in a spiritual battle with people who want super evil things to happen to all people. Speaking of that, Elon, why are you so sure that baby's yours? All right. God bless everyone. Stay cool. I'm going to play some guitar because there's a lot of shit to deal with. Peace out. I'll try to get cooler, man, but the energy's so tough right now to deal with. But I love y'all and I thank y'all. But just keep the faith, because your energy now carries on into the future long after your body. I can pretty much guarantee you that. God bless everyone.